What's up, guys, and welcome back to another Cruising with Crab. Buckle up, you're along for the ride. Today is actually going to probably be one of the most serious ones of the rides that I have to talk about. And this just happened to me today. I'm not going to explain exact details, but it reminded me, at first it triggered me, but today's about having respect, not just for yourself, but for others, especially when you're an adult and you treat a kid harshly. You treat them like they're nothing, that they're below you, and you have no respect for them. Now, again, as I've talked about with manifestation stuff, I could just change that, right? My eyes do not define my reality, or my ears. But also, guys, again, this is for me what I believe in this. There's some things, though, guys, that we're human. Like I said, we're here having a human experience. I've said this so many times now. You got to stand up for some things. If they make you feel uncomfortable, then you stand up for it. This, I could have stand up for it, but I sat there more thinking about how can people even act like that towards somebody. Again, like I'm not going to get into detail exactly what happened and and such, but it just, for me, it really rattled me a little bit, and it just made me want to come on here and talk about it, to really explain, like, we can't be rude. Oh, I shouldn't say even rude. We shouldn't be any hateful acts towards somebody. But I find there's a lot of people who can be, again, they don't know who they are. People can take things out on others. It's like when you're in a fight with somebody, you can. There's a bug in my face. We can say some. I could say some hateful things to this bug if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that right now, because this is about respect, right? We all have our days, right? I told you, I think, before. Oh my goodness. Sorry, there was another bug on me. It's also very late in the evening right now, so I'm kind of in a spot where the bugs might be a bit bad. So I might have to move this tripod somewhere else. You know what? I'm going to move this actually over here. Come with me, guys, for 1 second. I'm going to move over here. Might not be as bad. Um, but as I'm setting this up again, there's just a lot of people I find that can be very, like I said, they don't have respect for themselves in many ways. And a lot of it can just be that they had a really bad childhood, right? Maybe they had no father, maybe they had no mother. I was very lucky. I've had both a mother and father, right? Very grateful I've had that. Just because sometimes people, when they don't have any of that, I'm not saying you have to have those in order to be a successful kid who's happy with their life and such. It's still very much possible to be having a fulfilling life without any of that, right? There's people even who have like grandparents. There's people who have, maybe they have a sibling that looked after them. Maybe they had maybe their parents died or something in a horrific accident. Like, you don't know, right? And like I said, there's days when you see, listen, I get it. There are times when there are people who can act extremely difficult to be around, and you start getting those thoughts, right? You start thinking like, I just want to do something to that person. Like, you start getting those thoughts, right? I used to have those thoughts a lot. I'm at a point now where I just now know, again, when I was telling you about that situation that happened recently, we'll just say that. Um, oh my goodness, this silly bug has to go. me trying to sound all nice for that. No, I trust me. I actually, that was a couple days ago. I had a wasp come near me, and I was like starting to. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of cursing a little bit. I was like, "Get out of here!" Because I had the blinds. Oh my goodness, bug, leave me alone. Oh, I have to move again. Still getting used to this camera stuff, guys. There's just bugs sometimes that can be really, really annoying. All right, I'm gonna try standing this time. Is there anybody behind me? Okay, don't want to get anybody in the shot. Uh, Maybe I'll just stand. Let's see how this goes. It's supposed to be a serious video, and I'm like laughing about it. I'm not laughing about the topic, guys, because it's quite serious in many ways. Okay, so I guess that's a bit better. This tripod's been really nice. Cool. All right, this is kind of like when I first did my other video with you guys way back. But no, people can really suck, guys, in those situations. You start to wonder, like, how can someone be so cruel to somebody like that? Especially when that's like your own kid, right? Like that kid came from you, and you're treating them like that. There's a very, I hate using this word, but it's very narcissistic. Like there's just a lot of parents who should not have kids. And I mentioned this before. I feel like there's a lot of people, and listen, I'm not bashing people. If you want kids, that's your life. That's awesome. That's really cool to have that. I have a friend I have a friend right now that is expecting very soon. So, and I'm very happy for him and his wife, and that's awesome. And I know he's going to be an amazing dad, this person. And he also has whatever this kid is, either it's a boy or a girl. They're going to be very happy when even the mom's going to be very happy, right? So like, you got two great people that I've gotten to know for a long time. So, anyways, they know who they are. If they're watching this. But that's a good example of good people that some and there's also some families that too, right? Maybe it wasn't just because it was like a bad situation. Maybe they were really good people, but maybe some people didn't have a lot of money growing up, right? So maybe those people are maybe they started stealing at a really young age, right? And then we just sometimes we look past a lot of things. We don't. I find now with society, everything's moving so fast now that we just don't have time to look and observe and examine exactly what the real problem is with that. Why did this person become that? Right. So there's a lot of that things that we just don't always have the time and the patience to really lay it out and be like, hey, like we, especially too, it's like, what's wrong with you? A lot of people don't want to ask that question because it's like, if I say what's wrong with you to that person, you think they're gonna like flip at me. It's like, you don't understand. You weren't there 10 years ago. It was horrible. And you're just kind of like, whoa, dude, chill. Like, and then you say chill, that even sets them more off, right? So it's a lot of people just don't, and a lot of people just don't want to get into that business. People are very private, right? But this situation that happened, I didn't like it. There was someone, I won't say where or when or what situation was. Let's just say it was a father and a son situation. And I just did not like how that father was treating his kid. And the kid just sat there, didn't know what to do. Kids are very vulnerable. And that's what I don't like. Those parents think they can just push them around. Maybe it's not just the parents. Maybe it's just the one parent. Maybe it's the mother. Maybe it's the father, right? In this case, it was a father. Definitely was not an older sibling. I could easily tell it was not an older sibling, but it was really hard for me to watch. But like I said, I was talking about manifestation. I could easily go back and be like, well, everything in that situation was great. I could maybe, that kid's going to find a new father, or that father is going to be a better person, right? Like, again, I can select and choose. But the point of this video is you don't have to just sit there and watch, right? Obviously, I didn't confront this person. Thank God this person did not smack the kid, because that's when I don't like it. I'm not going to sit there, right? See someone get hit. It's like, and then revise it in my head and be like, oh, it's great. They're just playing. I'm going to go do my own business. No, there's some things as a human being, that I'm going to stand up and I'm going to be like, you're not doing that, buddy. You're not doing that to your son. I don't care who it is. Luckily, thank God that did not happen. But I was sitting there for like 10, 15 minutes just kind of debating, should I do something about it. It cooled down. It wasn't like nonstop arguments, but it was not my I felt it made me feel very uncomfortable. It made me feel very sick. Oh, bug, leave me alone. It made me feel very sick to my stomach, and I didn't like that. And you know exactly what I mean by that. When you're dealing with when you just have that sickness, and you're just like, you just start getting thoughts like, I want to do something to this person. But I think to wrap this video up is just, guys, if you're gonna have kids, okay, or you're gonna adopt kids, same goes with applies to an animal, to a pet, whatever. You better not dare hurt that animal or that person, whoever, boy, girl, whatever. What's wrong with you? It's not hard to be normal. That's going to be another video I'm going to do eventually. It's not hard to be normal. It's not. It really is not hard to be normal. To the people that act disrespectful and just are just rude, man, watch my videos. Maybe you'll learn something, right? Go watch some manifestation stuff, right? But the problem is everyone's so encoded with these old beliefs that we have that life's tough, and then a lot of that can maybe contribute why someone's so angry, right? There's so many alternate universes we could go into why people are that way. But again, the rest is more for your discussion, what you think, what you see, what you believe, right? Like, I'm not telling you guys, like I said, like, if you see something with your eyes, you can do whatever you want. But, like, if I see someone that's about to be hurt, especially if it's like a baby or something, I'm going to take the natural act and be a human being. I'm going to be a man about it, in my case. And I'm not going to let that person get abused, whoever it is, right? It's like also if you see a man taking advantage of a woman in a public place or something like that, and you can see that woman is not comfortable. No, I'm going to stand up and I'm going to do what's right, and I'm going to help that lady. It's the natural act, right? Or you're going to call the police or something like that, right? So do what you believe in, what you know that is you. What would you do in that situation? That is the main question. What would you do? Then you should act on that if it feels true to it, right? So that helps, because like I said, manifestation. And obviously what you could do is you could help somebody, and let's say that thought keeps coming back, I hope that person's okay, I hope that person's okay. Yeah, you help that person out, you took the natural act actually doing it. Maybe you yelled at that person that was the person that was attacking that woman or whatever, or the son, whatever. And that's when then after that, if you're alone at home by yourself, you start having those thoughts like, oh, I hope he's okay, and start instead of worrying and doubting like, oh my God, I hope that person's okay, whatever, you say, nope, that person's far away from that person. They're long gone. She's protected. She had her friend pick her up, right? You just tell yourself that instead of thinking and dwelling into negative thoughts, right? And see, that's how I apply with all these conversations and stuff. Like I said, this is might seem like a very odd channel for me, because it's like, well, why don't you just, instead of making a video about it and talking about it, it's like, no, guys, this whole channel is all about experiencing, also being a human being, because we're here we have a reason we're here, right? Right. And that's why I have a voice, right? I have a character who I am, Jonathan Crabb, and I'm doing what I want to do, and I want to help people navigate to this experience. And then also there's the manifestation stuff, which we've been doing all our lives anyways, right? So like I said, anyway, guys, at the end of this video, there's not much else to really say. I'm just going to go in circles, but the choice is always at your disposal. You make the decisions, right? You select. It's like playing a video game. You make the decisions. You want to be good, you want to be evil, you want to be neutral. Choice is yours. Is there consequences? Maybe there is. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next ride. Later.